Hello everyone, this is your weather on the fly outlook and discussion for Monday, March 31st, 2025. Update concerning convective outlook days 1 to 3. For today, there is an enhanced risk of severe thunderstorms across parts of southeastern Mississippi, central southern Alabama, the Florida Panhandle, much of Georgia and South Carolina, and central North Carolina. After a period of deepening across southern Ontario into Quebec, models indicate that a modest surface cyclone will migrate across the St. Lawrence Valley into the Canadian Maritimes during this period, in advance of a significant mid-level trough gradually turning east of northwestern Ontario. As this occurs, a lower amplitude mid-level perturbation of mid-latitude Pacific origins is forecast to accelerate east of the south-central Great Plains through the mid-south, southern Appalachians, and mid-Atlantic coast vicinity by late tonight. Upstream, a seasonably strong mid and upper jet is forecast to continue digging inland of the California coast through the southern Rockies, as flow undergoes amplification across the southern mid and subtropical latitudes of the eastern Pacific. It appears that this will be accompanied by cyclogenesis to the lee of the Colorado Rockies by late tonight. However, through daybreak Tuesday, appreciable low-level moisture return may be confined to a narrow plume west of the lower Rio Grande Valley into portions of the Texas South Plains, beneath warm elevated mixed-layer air, in the wake of a stalling cold front near or just inland of the Gulf into southern mid-Atlantic coasts. Prior to this frontal passage, mid-60s to near 70-degree surface dew points may linger across parts of the lower Mississippi Valley at the outset of the period, while advecting east-northeastward across parts of the eastern Gulf into South Atlantic coast states, beneath the remnants of a plume of elevated mixed-layer air emanating from the Great Plains. With that said, one or two organized thunderstorm clusters may overspread much of the southeast today, accompanied by swaths of strong to severe wind gusts, and perhaps a few tornadoes. For Tuesday, there is a slight risk of severe thunderstorms across portions of the central and southern plains into the Midwest. A somewhat complicated convective evolution is expected across parts of the central and southern plains late Tuesday. A powerful mid-level trough and accompanying 100-plus knot jet streaks are forecast to eject eastward over the central Rockies into the plains late in the afternoon and into overnight Tuesday. Strong ascent will aid in the development and intensification of a deeply low, helping to rapidly draw substantial surface moisture northward late. Southerly winds will act on a sizable reservoir of rich moisture across South Texas and the western Gulf Basin. Higher surface dew points are forecast to rapidly return northward across much of the southern and central plains. While model disagreement in regard to the speed of moisture return persists, an ensemble solution of guidance suggests upper 50s to low 60s dew points are likely across the central plains, with mid-60s possible across the southern plains by early evening. Cooling mid-level temperatures from the approaching trough will aid in destabilization ahead of a surging dry line, supporting initial convective development close to the low across parts of Nebraska and northern Kansas. Steep mid-level lapse rates and elongated hotographs suggest the primary risk will be hail, though some damaging winds are also possible given the relatively dry profile. Additional, likely elevated storms are expected later in the evening as low-level warm air advection increases and spreads into parts of the Midwest, with hail being the primary threat overnight. Farther south into Kansas, Oklahoma, and western central Texas, a more conditional risk for supercell development is expected late afternoon to near sunset. Models vary greatly in the degree of mixing and heating near a sharpening dry line from south-central Kansas into western Oklahoma and central Texas. Forecast sounding shows some residual cloud cover, and capping may remain east of the boundary through the late afternoon associated with the rapid return of moisture. However, some broad-scale ascent, strong isolation, and solenoidal circulations may allow for isolated storm development initially within the more mixed air mass farther west. Should this occur, moderate buoyancy and strong deep-layer shear would support isolated supercells, with a risk for large hail and damaging gusts. Additional storm development will be possible along the cold front late Tuesday night, which will spread eastward across the plains and potentially approach the Ozarks overnight. Questions remain regarding the mode of overnight convection and whether it can remain surface-based, but a conditional risk of all severe hazards could persist to the end of the period. For Wednesday, there is an enhanced risk of severe thunderstorms from the lower Great Lakes through the mid-Mississippi Valley and the Arklatex. A powerful, negative tilt, upper trough will move out of the plains, over the Midwest, and into the Great Lakes Wednesday, accompanied by a 100-plus knot jet streak. Very strong forcing for ascent will overspread a large unstable warm sector from the Great Lakes, Ohio Valley and Mississippi Valley, while a strong cold front will sweep eastward with widespread to numerous thunderstorms expected. An outbreak of widespread severe storms including significant tornadoes, severe wind gusts, and very large hail is possible Wednesday and Wednesday night. Consideration was given to higher severe probabilities across parts of the mid-Mississippi Valley for the potential for multiple long-lived significant supercells. However, confidence in the exact storm mode and location of maximum threat remains unclear given some potential for morning convection and model timing variance. Be sure to share, like and subscribe for the latest Storm Prediction Center outlooks.